Hello there folks, this is Ferengi on board again with another video. Today I would like to discuss a little bit about an idea that came to my mind 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I think it is an idea that many people in the world would definitely need to hear. The idea sounds plain and simple, but if you take the time it actually goes very deep. So I was wondering one day why there are so many illnesses in the world, and why there are so many problems in the world, and why there are so many bad people who simply can't do anything than actually be bad and just that. And the answer that came to me was people have demons to feed. I kind of knew this. Ever since I was young, for very long time, I would imagine, like at ages very fresh, around 12, 13, 14 years of age, I would imagine things that would come into your mind and would change your perceptions, would change your mind, would do a lot of things. I would imagine them exactly like mind viruses. I would even draw versions of them looking more like cyber viruses that infect a computer and change its programming. So actually demons are one of the numerous types of parasitic entities that a person can actually meet. Usually a pact with such entities is done subconsciously through feelings of lack. However, the problem is that at many times demons are not taken into account accordingly. There are some who might just want to inflict harm on you, and basically those people will become more and more lower vibrational, and simply you just can't save them. But there are also the higher demons, as I classify them, and these are quite numerous and many. And in many cases, these are entities who will provide you strength, and they will provide you with resources and whatever you will need, even to succeed in life. However, they will just need um, some of your energy, and they will actually like and need some of the love you can provide. Because in the end, all these parasitic entities are just entities who are severed, or have been severed, or have been created as severed from consciousness, since they have been created by egotism and egocentricity in most cases. And in that state, they have been given birth without a link to consciousness. So therefore, even if they are free to manifest in whatever way they want and outside of all the rules, well, most rules, they have still one problem. They cannot replenish their own energy, so therefore they will require people or any possible entity that will simply allow them in, because animals are no exception. Just because animals all seem to be doing the same thing, it doesn't mean that animals don't have their own awakened entities and their sleeping individuals. Some people would ask why and how. Well, simply, it's simply the fact. It's You don't have to contradict this. You don't have to fight against this. And everyone will develop, everyone will evolve in time, everything will change. However, the thing is that most people who live in darkness, they live in darkness, but unfortunately they don't know how to deal with it. In order to survive the light, in order to become one with the light, you have to go through the darkness. And when the darkness feels most pressing around, just look at the sky. And the greater the darkness, right, the brighter the sky, right? The darker the night, the brighter the stars. And now, more so than that, people will always fall to demons, sooner or later. And as parents, they will most likely have you as a child fall to your new demons, and that is why most children actually cry. The monsters that they feel under their bed or in their rooms are not imaginary things, although psychology and psychiatry kind of tend towards this nowadays. It is still something, because in the end, even if psychiatrists go through a very rigorous training, they are still fully mental. They are still fully mind-based because they are not trained to perceive and understand the voices beyond the mind. And in the end, the mind is just an instrument through which numerous entities can actually control you. And especially that you're not taught in how to deal with those and how to control your own mind, it's obvious that you'll be easy prey. As our consciousness seems to be moving towards the so-called age of Aquarius, more and more things will come up to the surface. So people who don't believe in the such will most likely either start believing, or different changes will occur in their lives so that sooner or later they actually start believing in something different rather than just the minor ideas they have been going through each and every day. Now, spirituality is not something for everyone. So, why do people have demons? Well, because people are in most situations they are born in poverty and in ideas of lack. And when they have lack, they attract all sorts of things. They become mini factories of demons. They start creating all sorts of thought forms of hatred and denial and rejection. And all these thought forms take a very long time to actually become conscious, if they actually become so. But still, being unconscious or conscious forms of existence, they will seek to develop. And the misery they are in, they will keep to develop. They need energy first of all to sustain themselves, and moving forwards, the energy that they drain from others supports their existence and may actually help them in developing. In many cases, most of these thought forms actually develop in worse and worse forms, becoming capable of inflicting more and more pain on others. However, there are entities of parasitic nature, but they are initially parasitic because they are weak. A secret that no one is telling you is that you as a human have almost infinite energy, but the problem is most of it you're anyways using unproductively because you're letting yourself be distracted by so many things. And this being said, all these distractions are because some entities don't want you to achieve greatness. Demons are called as something like whatever it is that will prevent you from achieving greatness. However, there isn't only demons that exist as parasitic entities, and demons actually are one of the better entities to actually meet. Many of them actually have a problem, and that is why they stick with you. They inflict you with pain because that's apparently their own meal. However, the hatred that most come up with is most likely the lower vibration of love, because everything lives one by one. Love exists along hatred. You hate because you love, and you love because you hate. But life is all about vibration switching. There is nothing constant. The only constant in life is change. And change will always induce people with lower and higher vibrations, as things will be removed from their past. There is no way to change the past, however you can only change the impression that you have about your past, be it that you become aware of any previous lives here on this planet or any other realm, and it actually helps you to make peace with those events. You have done those, they have served even a greater purpose to experience in the name of consciousness, because that's the purpose of life, to live and experience and learn. And, well, someone had to do that. And you wouldn't have learned anything if you haven't done that back then. And whatever act is done will also echo through eternity, and there will be things that it will keep drawing. So whatever you do in life will also have certain things that will be drawn towards that. If you put out a lot of negativity, you will also attract a lot of negativity. Hence why most people suffer, and why they attract demons. There is this site that I found, and I feel that it would be nice to present it to you, about finding the demon, personifying yourself with the demon, and actually in the end becoming the demon to finally feed it and meet the new ally. So demons are a type of entity in most cases in which you can actually confide. they have a problem and they stick with you for that problem, and you can realize that you have a problem because you don't have a sort of balance. You're either domineering, you're either inducing pain on others, you hate others, you pull yourself down, you're not rooted enough. And usually you can take into account your chakras, and you can also take into account the spine. If your spine isn't straight, and in many cases people aren't aware of how much pain their spine can actually take before it actually hurts, if you are unaware of how, well, let's say, well, actually, your spine is most likely not straight. And if it is not straight, you don't have balance in your body, for sure. Now, all your chakras are aligned around the spine. They are basically in line around the spine. However, they will tend to a certain direction if imbalances occur. And you can actually see it in people's spines what imbalances they have. Around the point where a main chakra is imbalanced, there will be a curvature of the spine, backwards, frontwards, leftwards, or rightwards. Now, some of the, misalignments of the spine can be rather small and probably they are not observable, but if you keep listening to people, you will see that there's a lot of meaning beyond their words. Most people actually speak the opposite of what they really mean. Like, take for example girls and females in many cases, they will tell you that they don't need hugs, they don't need cuddles, and they don't need anything nice because deep down inside they have a low self-esteem and they do have that experience and idea that they are not worth it. So most likely they have something like self-hatred and a self-hatred demon, or many more. And the point is that you have to try to find out and start doing internal work. Start finding out where the source of the problem is, what that problem is, and, well, keep up with it. Like, keep finding out how you can combat this, how you can detect the demon and see what it actually wants from you. I had a dream, actually today, in which I would see some beautiful girls and I was simply not impressed. Again, like in this situation, I was not impressed, but I did like the way that they looked nice and they were almost vivid. I wasn't asleep, I was just, having my eyes closed at night. And then this image shaped into a girl, and I would watch her face, and again, I didn't manifest anything. And that face turned into a hideous black mouth, a very rounded head, like almost completely circle, and that's kind of it. And it had this sharp teeth that it started mulching as if it tried to bite me, but it was like there was some kind of screen that disallowed it from actually reaching me. And I again did not manifest anything. I just don't let funny, amusing ideas like this actually impress me or scare me, because the moment you manifest a vibration, there are entities that will most likely feed on that. And parasitic entities don't feed on higher vibrational ones like love and compassion, the feeling of completeness. That is why most likely you cannot control your mind, because they are doing great efforts to simply distract you from whatever you'd want to do. So, whatever is, most people will just keep feeding their demons because they are unaware of their existence. More so than that, they are getting stuck into an idea of comfort. The fear of the unknown is one of the greatest fears of any living being, and to most people, they know how it is in that situation where they actually suck, but it's much easier to pull people down, to have what it's called a crab mentality, and do whatever it takes to pull people down, to keep them low, to have them feel hatred. And many people actually try to piss you off. They will remind you that in their opinion you suck, right? But other people's opinions are not necessarily your own unless you actually accept them. So whatever it takes, whatever the situation, most people actually prefer to keep feeding these demons. Hence why I came up with the idea that people actually have demons to feed, and you simply cannot separate them from their demons. And more so than that, it's not your actual purpose to separate people from their demons. If they want to suffer, okay, let them suffer. In the end, ask yourself the question, is it your fault that they are suffering from, or is it theirs? Because if you can't find yourself a fault and you're also not some narcissistic person, well, then let them just suffer. Sooner or later they will simply move away. What is not compatible with you as you increase in your positivity will simply be rooted out from your existence. Because if you don't leave aside what it is bad, you won't be making room for that which is better for you. So don't take into account negativity, don't take into account what bad mouths say, what bad people say. In the end, they are still loving people, but however, they don't have much of a higher vibration. And they kind of failed in life to, um, you know, they failed in life to succeed in well, actually they failed in life in front of demons and entities, and they just prefer, in some cases even consciously, and most cases actually, because choice is something that you do conscious, in most cases they actually prefer staying that low vibrational, because in the end, in the large aspect that most people cannot see, those people actually serve as a teacher. You see, English is a very occult construct. It is a construct whose words mean a lot beyond what they initially mean, like, well, television, for example, means tell lie to your vision, which usually the television is what it does. Um, and so success is what I call to suck ass, because most people, when they hit success, they believe that they have done it, and they kind of quit, and they return to the mentality of poverty. Success is not something that happens to you now. Success is something that happens, and it is a mentality. It is a way of living. It is a way of accepting life and going through life. Because success is not doing something, is doing a lot of things, and for the rest of your life. That is what success means. And success means achieving something after you have failed countless times, because that's what actually the teacher is. Failure is the greatest teacher. That's when you fail and you learn. That's the situation when you actually improve. It's like in programming. You write a code and it doesn't work, so you realize that there is a problem and you have to find it out. Programming is like 90% problem solving and 10% actual code writing, and you get back into that loop of writing, rewriting, and seeing where the problems are until the code actually works and you are presented with the result that you wanted. That is what it means to succeed. That is what it means to have reached success. Okay, you have sucked ass so hard so many times that you actually have reached success. Okay, you have embraced failure, you have understood it, you have made friends with it, and then you have succeeded. Okay, so now with demons, well, we all have demons. There are all sorts of them, and if you can actually figure out what they want from you, like if you can have them answer these questions, well, the point is that they can actually become an ally. If you can actually fill them with that they actually do not have, imagine them like a machine. Imagine them like a cyborg that suddenly becomes more aware, and they actually latch onto your life and do whatever it takes to preserve you in a way, to just remind you that, hey, they actually have something, they have something, they have an emotion, they have something that they want improved, and you are one of the persons that they actually can get help from. Okay, so imagine that you're their psychologist, their psychiatrist, and you can actually find out what they want, And it's just so easy to give them something because they cannot generate their own emotions, they just feed upon them. And if you can give them some love or whatever feeling that they require, and it's usually they require positive feelings, which is a very good thing because we were made from and we were meant to experience positive feelings. The point is that this is how most people actually get to succeed. Some demons want to feel what success is like. Imagine a demon being someone who committed suicide and their consciousness probably broke into a lot of things, or this demon was part of their life. And they are suddenly thrown away due to a great immense pain that they couldn't assimilate because they are, let's say, a demon of success. And actually they can only feed on failure. So they fed on that person's failure because they have committed suicide, but not on that idea of pain. But still, their purpose is to actually feel what experiencing success is like in real life. So they need someone to actually manifest that. And usually, because they are low vibrational, they will be drawn to people who experience failure. And if that person is advanced enough, they can actually end up experiencing success. And they will be like, if you can actually, it's like, what do you want? Most likely I would want you to fail. What do you need? Well, I need you to fail because you're a failure. How will you feel if you get what you need? Well, if I get to feel what success is like, I can actually and finally teach you what success is, and I can actually teach you how to keep your mind like focused on that ideas that you want in order to obtain success. And then basically they can turn into one of those magical genies, and they will be like, I will lend you your strength, but I need to experience through you what success is. Okay, so they will go through you with you through failures. Don't forget that they revel in failure, and they will go through strengths because they want to feel what success is like. So you will feel success, they will feel success. What happens? That becomes a very powerful relationship. So try to gorge on this, try to understand this, and well, shoot me any email in case you have any further questions. If you are new to my channel, you can subscribe. Feel free to do so. I'm not forcing anyone to do that. Feel free to stick around my channel and go yandere on it. And yes, what can I say? Keep up the good work, keep developing yourself, and remember, the path of spirituality means that you're going through a journey that will simply no longer will make your life be no longer what it used to be. And it's like it will never be the same. It can be painful. So reaching out to people, for example, like me, that won't be hard. Like, I'm interested in hearing your stories and telling me about your vivid dreams and whatever I can help you with interpretations to words. A quick reminder, life is awesome and also so are you. Have a nice day.